Hey everybody, Quentin from Weweb here. I hope you had a nice week. Welcome to this Weweb office hours. Today I'll be alone because Joyce is on holidays that she well deserved. So I'll be alone to present you the new CRM template because that's why we are here today. Basically, we created a fully fledged CRM template inside Weweb and Xano that you can try. I will send you the link in the chat that you can try. It's actually a working app, so you can go there, sign up and play with the data. It's your own data. And today we'll see how we built it, both on Weweb and Xano, and you'll be able to duplicate it in the days to come because we're preparing a doc that will be live probably Monday next week. And also we're preparing a snippet so that you can also copy the backend in Xano and working with their team so that they can also do the documentation for this template. But yeah, in the meantime, let's go and let's present to you the template. By the way, don't hesitate to say hello in the chat and ask your questions. This live is made to be interactive, so don't worry if you have any questions. I will stop and answer them when showcasing the CRM. So first, let me share my screen. Okay, so this is the CRM template. This is a login actually, but to use the CRM template, you'll have to sign up. And by the way, yeah, I didn't even mention, I don't know if everybody is used to know what a CRM is basically. But a CRM is kind of like a Kanban board where you have like your commercial opportunities and you set them like as a qualified, maybe schedule the call, maybe close the deal or lost the deal. So most of the big players in this area are HubSpot and Salesforce in the US. There's also like lots of other CRM. But the thing is, we've seen that lots of people in the no-code space, they want to recreate a CRM that's really customized to their needs, because sometimes HubSpot or Salesforce, they don't get it, you know, like you need to have like several things that are specific to your business. And that's why we created this template. So the first thing you have to do actually is to create an account. So by going on the sign up, obviously, upload a profile picture. Let me check that I have a proper picture somewhere because obviously I didn't think about this. My bad. Let me check. I will just download a picture of me so that I can showcase you why we need a picture. That'd be better. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm like talking in French right now. I don't know why. So, upload a picture. By the way, it's mandatory to have a picture. Right now, I will improve the template so that it displays an error message if you don't have one. But it's used to like showcase your picture inside the template and to show binding inside the template. So right now, it's like you need to have a picture. So let me use a fake email. By the way, you can enter a real email here. Like it will never be, it won't never be used to like send you promotions or do retargeting. This email is totally disconnected from the Weweb app and we won't use for any commercial purposes. And actually the forgot password here is working. And if you use it, it will send you a new password, like a way to get a new password. So it's useful to have a real email here in case this happens. And the way we set up also the reset password will be showcased because it's between us, Xano, and customer.io in our case. But it would work for like all email providers. So let me sign up. So sometimes the sign up is taking a bit long. Why? Because and I will add a message for this too, but we are copying all the data to your account so that the data that you see here, let me zoom a bit, a little, is actually tied to your account. So you can play with it, like really edit anything you want. It's tied to your account. You will never like change data that's from someone else. So really feel free to play with it. And also all the accounts, they are deleted every Sunday at 1 a.m. Paris time, if I remember well. So yeah, I mean, you've got 1 week to play with the template, then you would have to recreate an account. So basically, here's our first screen. So it's a screen like a Kanban of deal opportunities that we have, like that are either scheduled, qualified, closing, lost. I mean, you can recreate these columns if you want. We'll see how in Weweb just after. And because it's a Kanban, you can drag and drop anything. I mean, and change the order. And it's actually saved in the DB. So if I move all the cards here and I refresh, you'll see that it will still be the same because it's saved in the Xano database. Also, you've got drop-downs to filter by companies, for example, by contact, and you've got a search that searches for text inside, like the deals. And you can obviously add a new deal. You can also add new deals here. So what this will do is we'll just pre-select the status, select a contact. So my deal. Let me enter fake text. And you see my deal is now here. And I can obviously drag and drop it. And I see everything that's linked to my deal. And one cool thing you have also with deals is that most of the time in CRM, what you want to do is that you want to have like notes on what happened during you were like trying to close the deal. So you can also add notes, and they will be stored in the database and they're linked to this deal. And the profile picture is used here because normally you would have like several users in this template. It's only you, but you can customize it in Weweb obviously so that you can have multiple users, and it displays the image of the user that like took the notes. So that's pretty much it for this screen. Let's go to contact because each deals, they are tied to contacts, and contacts, they are inside the data grid here that you can also like edit. For example, I could say that Diane is not at Google, but she's at Airbnb. She's not a product manager, but maybe a backend engineer, and she's got a airbnb.com email address. And if I submit, that's saved in the database too. So for example, if I am to display all the people from Airbnb, Diane is here now. And so yeah, in the database, these contacts, they are tied to the deal. So every time you update a contact, it will update also what's displayed in the deal here. So for example, if I check the deals from Diane, you see that it's now Airbnb and not Google, I think, anymore. So yeah, that's it. Or you can also like delete people and search by name. So yeah. And obviously add new contacts, select their company, the profile picture. So let's add mine again. Let's say now I work at Airbnb. I'm not working for Weweb anymore. No, I mean, I love Weweb. I would never do this. So yeah, I will add myself as a contact. And normally you could see me here. And the picture is bugged. Actually, I don't know why. I will just check this. Maybe this is a small bug inside maybe Xano or Weweb, I don't know, but I will fix it. And then companies. So companies, they are also tied to deals. They're also tied to contacts, and it's basically the same. So a data grid with all their information. So we've got the name, the domain, location, etc. And if you add one, you don't have to add like the logo here because I'm recreating, like searching for the logo based on the domain. But it's exactly the same thing as contacts, and you can filter everything. So there's nobody in Menlo Park. Okay. Apparently I have also a bug here. Redmond. No, it seems to work. Okay, weird. I will check that with you in Weweb because now I think it's the time to show you how it's done using Xano and Weweb. First thing, I will show you the database in Xano. So how it works basically is that we have like five tables that are used for this project. The first one is the users. So the users that are actually logged in inside the template. So that means you and me. Then you've got notes, deals, contacts, and companies that are all tied together through the deal. So you see like the deal here, it's got contact ID, company ID, and notes, they've got deal ID. So everything is linked together. And basically it's all the deals here that I've displayed and that are filtered based on the user. One thing though that's really specific to the deals is that here you've got a status column and an order column, and they're using the template to group the deals by their columns. So you see these columns here, it's the status column here, and the order is used to remember in which order they are displayed inside each column. So every time we are changing a deals column, we are updating both the status and the order, and also the order from the orders deal in the column, so that every order is updated. Because for example, if I drag and drop this here, the order here for all the deals here has changed because they are after, so they are like getting +1 in the order. I will show you this in Weweb, it will be clearer. And then you've got the contacts, of course, that are tied to companies and user. Everything is bound to like linked to user foreign key. It's enabling me like in the templates, really specific for the template, but to show it to you only your deals, your contacts, your companies, and so that it's protected through API, so you can't never access another user's data. So same with the companies here and the notes, obviously. So obviously everything is available through an API, and you will see when I do the Xano snippet how I've done it. So you've got all the auth, you've got like the change password and the magic link to reset your password, and the whole API is protected. So basically every time you will like get, for example, a company, it will give you the company only based on your user ID from your auth token. And that's something I wanted to showcase also in this template, is that the user ID I'm using here, it's actually not a parameter that is sent through the API, it's the ID that's coming from the auth, so like the user token inside the Weweb app, making it really secure, because you should never send the user ID as a parameter, because obviously if another user sees this and tries to reverse engineer the API, he or she will understand that by changing the ID, he will be able to grab data from another user. So this is the most secure way to do this. Because what's good with this template, and that will be explained in the docs, that it's really secure both on the front end, but especially on the back end, so that no data is able to get stolen or like changed from another user. And same when you do a post, for example, it will check that your user ID is the one is tied to the object you're trying to change. So let's say, for example, you want to update a company, it will first check that the ID of the company you're trying to change is a company that is tied to you, otherwise it will fail. So everything is backed on this point. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I've got also an upload image endpoint to upload images, obviously, and a deal bulk update that also will be described in the snippet that used in the Kanban to update all the other deals in the columns that are getting their order changed. So that what we want to do is not like make many API calls from the Weweb front end, but one API call will have the whole list, and Xano is doing the heavy lifting here of updating them through a loop. But yeah, let's go inside Weweb then. Template is here. So for the front end, it's pretty much easy to understand if you're used to Weweb already, but mainly a sidebar here that's a multi-page section. So you see it here. So basically the sidebar is the same, it's shared across all the screens, and like when you change it, it's changed on all screens. Also, most of the screens, they've got a title, drop-down searches, and here a Kanban that's based on my deals collection coming from Xano. And you see, like, stacked by status, sorted by order. I mean, to do this layout. And I have obviously an API call to update the deals that are moved in the Kanban. The main thing as I want to show to you, I mean, first let's go on the other pages. So for example, if I go on the contacts pages, you'll see that it's exactly the same layout, except here it's a data grid and it's linked to the contacts collection. And also here API like workflows to edit using the API. So the main thing as wanna, what's this? Up, boom. Let me remove this. The main thing I wanna show to you is that I used purposefully 3 ways to filter the collections in this template to show you like 3 ways to do it in Weweb. The first one is the deals. So every time you're using a drop down here or a search, you're actually just doing a fetch collection on deals. There's no API calls that is made on the workflows, the elements, and the Kanban is only linked to the collection. So how is it working? Then in so my deals collection, I've got all my filters that are in sent as a query string, so sent to the backend. And actually, all the collection is filtered on the backend, so it's the most secure way to do it because Weweb always receive only the results of your search, nothing more. For example, if I were here to set company Stripe, if I go on my collection, you see here that the company ID is 12, and Xano is only returning to me like the 3 items that are from the link to the Stripe company, sorry. So it's really, really secure, and it's what we call a backend filter. And that's the way most of your filters should be, is that they should be done on the backend side. So, otherwise, if you send everything that we see after to Weweb, it's not because some data is not displayed to the user visually, that it's not in the navigator, the user browser. And so that user, they might be able to reverse engineer the API call and get all the data. Here it's impossible because also the data is tied to your bearer token, so your current user, and it's filtered for the specific user. But there could be times when you want to do front-end filters. So that's what I've done on the contacts page. Let me, by the way, fetch the contacts. Yeah. So here, you see, the data grid is bound to the contacts filtered collection. And when we see like the drop down here, find company, it's only fetching the collection. So you would think that it's the same, but here, no query string is sent to the backend, and we use the sort, filter, and pagination features inside Weweb. And actually, these features, they are after the fetch data. So that means that all the data is fetched from the Xano backend, and then we filter it on the front end. Those are front-end filters. So it means that the whole collection here, you see, is bound. So if I also set a company, for example, Stripe. So here you'll see 12, so the ID for Stripe. So like everything is happening in the user browser. So what happens is that Weweb asks Xano for the whole data, get the data and filter it inside the browser, and then just reduce it to the 3 items here. So it's less secure, but it's still really useful when your APIs don't have like ways to filter and search data. Because maybe it's not your API, it's a third-party API, you can't do it. So you can still use it here at the collection level. And because it's at the collection level, the whole collection is filtered in the whole Weweb app. The last way to do it, it's one of my preferred, it's actually really useful when you have a small subset, a small set of data that's not really, like, you don't need to secure it, basically. It's like, I mean, it's not like medical or maybe financial data. So it's to filter directly on the element. So here, for example, you'll see that when I set, for example, Dublin, it's filtered directly, so not sort, filter on the grid, the data grid data. So I check the location here, Dublin, Ireland. And what this means is that it's filtered only for this specific data grid. If I were to display the collection again on another element, it wouldn't be filtered that way. So you could use several filters on the same page. And that's really useful when you've got small subset of data and you want really fast user experience, because here, no API call is made to the Xano backend at all. So there's no, Weweb is not even asking the data to Xano. It's just filtering the data it already has. So it's really happening really fast. And when you see the workflow, it's actually really easy because there are no workflows. And we had the question, because we made this live on Monday to French people, and they were like, yeah, how can the data grid know here that it has to be filtered? And actually that's because Weweb is based on Vue.js. It's like React, you know, all these kind of JavaScript frameworks. That's their whole purpose, they're reactive. So every time you change the data, all the elements that are based on this data will react to these changes and adapt. So here, the data grid, you don't even have to say, hey, change the collection, like the filters, because it knows already that it has to watch this value. So if you change this value, the user change it, it will react in real time. So it's really useful to do like really powerful UIs. But still, it's not as secure as doing it on the backend. So it really depends on your use cases. One last thing that we have though is the user management tab that's normally only available to admins, but I wanted to showcase to you is that you'll get all the users when you're an admin. So because I'm an admin, I can do it. Go on this page, because this page is only displayed, let me show you the display, when the user is an admin. So my current user is one. By default, all the users are normal users. And here the edits is also available if you're an admin or if the user is your current user. So you can edit your own user or all the users if you're an admin. So that's something that's not displayed in the public template, but that's still you can use in your own templates. And the main thing, this is really useful when you've got like multiple internal users and you wanna, you know, like edit them. So you would do this that way. And it's a classic data grid too. And also what's really important is that the endpoints to edit the users on the Xano backend, they are also protected so that you're an admin or it's your own user. Otherwise it wouldn't work. So yeah, that's pretty much everything for the Weweb CRM. I'll just do something because I've seen that I forgot this, but if you forgot your password, I think I forgot the link here. So, no, it's forgot password. So maybe the cursor is not the right one. So let's say the cursor to pointer. Yeah, that's better. Let's publish this. Fix cursor on login. So if you were to copy the template, it would be fixed now. And if you want to use this template, pretty easy. Just go on Weweb, create or duplicate project. So let's go in my account. And you can use like the CRM template here, select it. Let's call it CRM, obviously. And then you would get the whole template. And if you are logged in, it would work because your like cookies are shared across all Weweb apps. But let's say you want to use your own backend, the main thing you want to do, like everything would be working here. If you were to copy the snippet, the Xano snippet, again, that will come next week, you only have to change these endpoints here. So like the login, get me, and sign up endpoint. And also this variable here in API base URL to your Xano account base URL, because all the API calls and the collections are based on this base URL, so it will work already. And the one thing I want to show you, the last thing in workflows, is for all the API calls. That's the best practice that we set to Weweb users to use. Hello Xavier. That most of the users didn't know is that when you've got like lots of API calls, the best way to use them and edit them is to throw them in what we call an API management folder, so like here called API, and use them as global workflows. And then in all your elements, you will call these workflows, not redo it in every element, so that if your API changes, you will change only these workflows and not all the workflows in your apps. So for example, the Kanban one, here it's calling a execute workflow and executing the workflow post deal ID. Actually, this workflow is this one. So with all the data that I have to send to my API. And it matches my Xano API here. So you see deal ID is here. And that's the best practice that we recommend in all the projects, is to have like this. Okay, let me close this. This API folder with all the global workflows, and match all the endpoints that you need to have from your API. So you see here I have really everything, like also my auth, my sign up, my post to company, to edit a company, to edit a deal, delete, everything. So yeah, I think we've seen almost everything in the template. And again, if you want to use it, go on the dashboard and copy it, like use it as the base for your app. It's here, CRM. And if you wait until Monday, you will get all the docs explaining the structure to you. And also like the Xano snippet to copy the backend inside your Xano workspace. And don't hesitate if you have any questions. In the meantime, you can still play with it online. And again, this is your data, so you can really do whatever you want and use it as a real app. So I don't know if anyone has questions. If this is okay. If you want to also deep dive a specific thing in the template, don't hesitate to ask. Otherwise, just reverse engineer it, because I know that why we've done this template is basically because our CPO and I, when we land in a new tool, what we do is that we check the templates or like the libraries, the snippets that are in the product, and we try to reverse engineer everything rather than reading the docs. And we wanted to give this kind of experience also to users inside Weweb, so that you see how a real app is made from A to Z and just copy best practices. And what I would recommend is not using the CRM as base, this template as a base for your new app, but rather like copy it in your workspace, play with it, and then begin again from zero. But you know that if you need to watch how it was done, go back to this template and check and take inspiration from it rather than copying everything. That would be my recommendation. So no questions? So if this is good, I mean, we'll stop here. Crystal clear. Thank you, Xavier. But you're already a Weweb power user, so that's why. You don't even need the template, basically. So yeah, that was it for today. Next week, we'll go back with Joyce, but also with Aurélie, our head on Frontend, and we'll see how to create custom Vue.js components that you can bring inside Weweb to create basically new components, like, for example, a Stripe payment system, and an Algolia search, special input in a form, all this kind of stuff. So it will be fairly technical, but still we'll try to make it as user-friendly as possible. But will be really helpful for people that really want to bring some really specific elements inside their apps, like we've seen for some clients. So mainly using external products like Algolia, Stripe, I don't know, anything you would think of. And yeah, that would be same time next week. And in the meantime, have a great weekend. Bye.